Hi everyone, my name is Simon Mishevich from Optimised Accountants, and I'm going to be looking at stamp duty land tax on residential property. And in particular, I'm going to be isolating 2024 because there have been two events for that, and 2025. So let's get into the detail. Whilst you're looking at this channel, you may be looking for some international tax expertise. Feel free to look at the expat taxes. And if you're looking to move to Spain like I have, then maybe follow the journey of myself and Louise on that channel on the right-hand side. Don't forget, you can now download our up-to-date ebook on property tax, which is based on the Labour Party autumn budget. Okay, so now we're going to look at stamp duty. You can refer to this information yourself. Just type in HMRC stamp duty land tax in Google or Bing, or use this URL and get this information yourself. Right, so now we're going to look at residential rates, and this is rates up to 2025. Why is that important? Well, they made a change in October 2024 with the budget. And what they sneakily put in, which I wasn't completely clear in the budget announcement, was a change on the banded rate. They talked a lot about the fixed, the high rate, but not the banded rate. So what changed? Well, look at this. You'll notice that there's a zero rate for up to £250,000 up to the 31st of March 2025. But there's another one, I'll just go into that, which is from April 2025. And the band of zero rate is now just 125,000. They've snuck in the 125,000 to 250,000 and they put in a 2% rate. So I'm not sure if you saw that in the budget announcement, but it wasn't entirely clear because I think everyone was focusing on the 5% rate, which we was all gobsmacked over. But this is also in the budget announcement, but it comes into effect from the 1st of April 2025. So expect a rush. It's not a great deal to be fair, but I'd expect a little bit more of a rush in March to push things through. So for residential properties, we do need to look at different types of stamp duty. There's the banded rate. There's the new 5% additional rate and 2% foreign surcharge if you are a non-UK resident. By the way, if you're looking for some international tax advice, then feel free to use that QR code just there. Or if you want to speak to me actually about any form of tax, then also use that QR code there. Okay, so now what we want to do is look at the banded rate of stamp duty. And we're going to look at three different time zones. April 2024, October 2024, April 2025. Why? Well, simply because there have been some changes. April 2024 is before any changes were made at all. October 2024 is when the autumn budget was announced. And then April 2025, there is a different change coming in as well. So what is that? Well, we know that the banded rate is £125,000 and 0% across the board. But the rates to £250,000 has increased to 2%, and that is coming from April 2025. And then we're looking at the rate of £295,000 because that is the house purchase. I'm using that number because that's the average house price in the UK, around about. But you can see then there's the 5% band across the board. So the main difference really is the April 2025 where you've got that new 2% rate. Stamp duty is there to 250 in April 2024, 2250 in October 2024, and 4750 in April 2025. So it has gone up because of this 2% band. Now we've got an addition on top of this 295,000 house purchase. You've got the banded rate, which you can see there's a total, but you've also got the higher rate. In April 2024, it was 3%, and it would have been 8,850, but now that's increased to 14,750 at the 5% rate of £295,000. Total stamp duty and land tax has then moved up to from 11,100 in April 2024 to 17,000 in October 2024 and 19,500 in April 2025. And you could almost say that's pretty much double the stamp duty rates. Now, the one thing I would say about this stamp duty rate is it has now, if I look at the base of 295,000, it's 4%, 6%, 7%. Is it the end of the world? I think it's a disappointing result, of course. Is it tragic? No. Why do I not think so? Because I think that property is still a good gamble to be in. Why? Because there's less competition. Why? Because people need to rent houses. If you've got less competition because there's now less supply, the demand is still high because no one can afford to buy houses, then there is a good equation here to say that money can be made. So keep on going, but in a company structure. And that does not change anything about stamp duty land tax, by the way, but it certainly can help you. Better than pensions. I mean, look at what's happened with pensions and the 40% inheritance tax hit on that. If you use a family investment company for pensions, then you may be able to get around inheritance tax, which you can't in pensions. So again, maybe a better bet in property. Less competition. Less competition means one big thing. Look at this. Average house prices have increased by 8.4% in the 12 months since September 2024. That's a big change. Where else can you get a return of not even a return, an increase of return of 8.4%? This is far better than most pensions, I would say. And I appreciate you going to say, well, it's less, you don't have the tax. Well, in a corporate structure, it can be quite small. So there is that to it. Average house price increased by 2.8%. Again, capital increase as well as revenue increase. It's just a real blind, obvious thing to get into the property. Lots of people are exiting. It means that rents are going to go up even higher. It does show that there has been a dip in percentage. But one thing I would say to you, I'm just going to get a highlight on this, is this line is a decrease. And you're thinking, well, it's going down, therefore that's not a good thing. But look where it's decreasing from. 10% to 8%. Hold on, guys. This is not saying it's down this level, where it's 0%. This is where you're thinking, well, there's no increase. It's all the way up there. Look at this. That is where we're looking at. So is property still the best thing? Yes, it is. And therefore, please don't panic. Yes, the stamp duty land tax is a real shame. Okay. But over the grand scheme of things, like I said, if I just go back, it's 4%, 6%, 7%. It's not a huge amount of what it is. Yes, it means it's adding into the deposit money, etc. But overall, it's still a very, very good investment. So please don't panic.